Welcome to the Miniatures Paintbrush. Today we're going to paint and chat. Paint and chat. And I'll tell you, it's a little different from my standard paint and chat because I will not be painting. This man right here is going to be painting. Several reasons for that. One, he's an awesome painter.
Oh, thank you.
That's first and foremost. First and foremost. Well, let's say or something. First and foremost. And then second of all, I had a technological catastrophe. I record my videos on a SD drive, and my camera decided to get rid of the folder where I had, I don't know, what, 50 hours worth of video on. Yeah, so two tutorials just went bye-bye. So that was just completely gone. Anywho, I'm going to recover from that. And my man here came in the clutch and said, yo, I got something for you. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I want to have a show. I mean, I miss Elia, hanging out with people.
A little bit similar to what you were working on with the demon.
Yeah, and you have your channel on Twitch. Can you?
Yep, Twitch TV/Shameless Soul, one word.
All right.
That's me.
There you go. So if you want to check out his videos and more, if you like this tutorial or this video, and you want to see more of the Shameless Soul, check him out, man. Give him mad props. All right, so let's get on to this tutorial. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, there it is. Tell us what you're doing here.
All right, so basically I started off coating everything in black brown, or just kind of a brown primer. I think I actually used Dryad Bark from Citadel to put a reddish brown layer over everything. And now I'm just going through with Mephiston Red and not thinning my paint at all, pretty much painting straight out of the bottle.
Are you getting a texture going?
Yep, trying to actually get those brush strokes to show up as kind of a textured effect for the muscle fiber.
So you're creating muscle fiber on a Night Titan?
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
That was probably what I was supposed to explain, right?
Yeah. That's all right. You're on a Night Titan over here.
I'm not a teacher.
This thing over here just looks cool. It just looks like he has really large guns, and it's like, I don't know, some kind of...
This is actually going to be a Rampager for my Chaos Knight. So he's going to... It's essentially the Gallant, which is the completely melee version of the Imperial side, but he gets a little bit extra in his attack stuff, so...
It's pretty cool. All my melee attack knights just get blown out the water before they even get close. That's the problem.
You gotta get that. That's the House Raven, man.
House Raven?
Or not House Raven. House Raven is what I actually run for my Imperials because I get to turn all my heavy weapons into assault weapons. So then I get to move and advance, and then I get to fire with only like a slight penalty. Well, actually, I don't get a penalty for firing.
That's pretty nice.
At all, so it's just nice.
Yeah. I like is it Hawkshroud, the one for the Space Wolves? Because their defense is like crazy. You just fire them, and you're like, you don't teach me. It's like having an invuln save or something. It's crazy. I got a couple of interesting things with that. I just don't want to paint a Yellow Knight though. I paint my Space Wolves.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I tend to run, I think it's Tanaris. Pardon me. Tanaris or Hawkshroud, or not Hawkshroud, Raven, depending on what I want to do with my Imperials. Chaos Knights, I pretty much run solely the Iconoclast houses, at least because in the old edition, 9th edition or 8th edition, when we got our first codex in history.
Nice.
It just the bonuses were so much better. I think there was a lot to do more with melee and exploding sixes and things like that. It's been so long since I've actually got to play a game, though. I remember.
It's been too long.
Exactly.
We should play it some one of these days.
We should get some kind of narrative thing going.
Yeah. It sounds like cool.
Make it fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so like, what I'm doing with these is I'm basically picking out sections of just to paint as muscle, and I'm just trying to keep my brush moving in the direction that I want the muscle fibers to go. So individually, you'll see me painting them in ovoid shapes, and that's me basically doing the different, groupings of muscles all kind of bunched together.
What kind of red are you using right now?
Right now, it is Mephiston from Citadel.
Love that color.
That's the only red that I'm going to use through this entire process because I'm just going to be adding Cadian flesh to it to step my colors up.
Yeah.
Everything that I need until I'm just using pure Cadian flesh for the highlight phase.
Right. That's pretty cool. That's definitely really cool. So, hobby progress. Obviously, you have your knight over here. How many knights do you have anyway?
Too many.
The man has more knights than I've ever known anyone to have. Personally,
I think I have 16 full-size knights and 22 armators.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, that's an apocalypse game right there. Right there. There you go.
I do want a Warhound Titan.
I wouldn't mind a Warhound, and of course, you know, the big boy, the chunky monkey.
I can't, you know, the Warhound, it's like $500-600. I can probably understand that because that's like a car payment.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Warlord Titan is a car.
Right. Crazy printer. Yeah, so anyway, talk a little bit about hobby progress. You may have seen this. This is the video that got deleted over here, and I do have this boy here. I put it on Facebook. You can check that out and through my socials and everything else. If you haven't checked it out, I'm on the Miniatures Paintbrush and Facebook.com. You can check that out, and you can see this bad boy over here. I went different. I wanted to do a lot of brush work, a lot of freehand going on in there. I wanted to do some non-metallic metal for his pants, which personally I think they look like jeans, can't unsee. And I wanted to do something integration of the base, where that's his actual base, and then I green stuffed it and incorporated it into his base with some blood going on right there. Again, if you want to see better pictures of that, thumbnail has one of them. Check me out on Facebook.com at the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion. All right. There's that one thing that I did, and then I did Commander Farstrike. There's another one that I did over here. Pretty cool stuff. I have several commanders. I think I'm going to convert one into Farstrike. No, is that the Far Enclaves? The red guys. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
6.
Yeah, no, I just. How many points do you think I have of Tau in there?
Yeah, pretty decent amount actually.
Yeah,
you got the
The big boy
a little over 2,000, right?
Is that Storm Surge in the back?
Yeah, it's a Storm Surge. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Over 2.
I think you're at least around 2.
Yeah, and I still don't know what they do. All right,
It's
yeah,
terrible. I mean, plus or minus 200 either way. You know, I mean, I'm willing to.
Yeah, I got another couple. I got the Apocalypse box set. And I got the new one over there, and I still have to finish that one over there with the bottom.
That's 3 big boxes of towel I'm seeing right there.
Yeah, well, I finished this one up
That's
here.
kinda
This
too
is all the
much
Tau
towel.
stuff I finished so far.
Yeah, it's too much towel.
So, no, I mean, it's just an army I wanted to get done so I can get on to, like, you know, Death Guard or something like that.
It's just an army I wanted to get done, so I kept buying more.
Yeah, that's what it is. I said I'm literally going to punish myself and keep on buying boxes until I get this thing done. And once I'm done, I'm not buying boxes anymore. I'm like
once I own one of every model.
I mean, I try to do that, but then some of the models, like, you know, like Finecast, like, really? No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that.
No. So if the model looks janky, I'm not, or is janky, I'm like, nah. But if it's interesting to me, then yeah, absolutely. That's what I got.
Yeah, no, that's typically how I build an army.
Yeah.
I find the units that interest me, and then I just buy those.
Cool. Warhammer news.
Boop, 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 boop.
Only thing of the releases that really interests me is that new Warcry box, where it has that scenery. I'm a scenery
the
junkie.
scenery is a big reason to get the Warcry stuff, because really, like, the AOS scenery that they sell outside of the Warcry boxes is kind of just whatever.
Right.
I mean, it just looks like a bunch of different scatter terrain pieces. There's like no cohesion between any set of it, you know?
Right.
But at least in the Warcry stuff, it looks like it all belongs together.
Warcry is a fun game to play. Have you played it?
I have not. I was supposed to play a game with Corbin,
Yeah.
but then everything went south 2 years ago, and we haven't been able to get to the game shop since.
He brought one over here. We played like 3 games back to back, and I finally did something with his full effort applied to the table.
Nice.
I went 3 for 3. I beat him.
That's what's up.
The first time ever.
So it's not that I'm happy that Corbin lost. I'm just happy Rob won.
I never win. Ever. So it's like, yeah, I've been doing pretty decent in the game Reign of Hell, which we are on campaign game 7 out of 10. I thank my wife profusely for, she's not a war gamer, but she learned the game because she saw I was all droopy dog, like, I got nobody to play with. And she's like, fine, I'll learn the game. We'll play. And I'm like, oh. And she's actually did good. She beat me during the Beast game.
Good wife.
Good life. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the Warcry stuff seems interesting. I don't know if we can... go from Rain and Hound, step it over to Warcry, maybe some AOS. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not putting eggs in baskets there because that's what the Easter Bunny does. That's his job. Do your job. Do your job.
I'm pretty sure you could sell her on the fact that she can call one of her minions like Thunder Cheeks.
Well, it was Thunder Cookies, and then it was Devil Tushy. Devil.
Okay, I combined the
Tushy. That's the one with the.
Clapping cookies.
That's that does not sound appetizing. No.
That came out wrong.
That's some cookies with your apple juice there. All right there.
Try and make an innocent joke and it just goes dirty.
Overactive imagination. Anyway, let's see. Have you seen the survey that they put out, Warhammer?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Truthfully, I have been pretty out of all of things wargaming pretty extensively. Like I really needed to step away from the whole thing.
Sometimes you can get overwhelmed. Yeah, you get obsessed. Yeah, you gotta walk away.
But I mean, I still dabble in news, and I did see some of the questions on there. My only thing with it was there was a lack of responses. Like you can never sum up the feelings of something like this within like A through D. You know, like 4 responses aren't usually the way to go. Like, what made you stop playing Warhammer 40K? You damn ruined the game. Was not on there.
But, we were having a conversation of this prior. There's nothing stopping you playing a previous edition as long as the person you're playing with is cool with it. And if you think something is not working right, then you can homebrew your rules. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. You must play a certain way.
Right. Yeah, unless you're being... a competitive player or interest.
Right. If that is your goal, then okay, then you have to follow whatever rules Game W feel like making at the time that they're making it to do whatever reason, and you must be a slave to whatever rule they get. And if you like that, being slave, then you really are part of the 41st millennium, and you are Grimdark.
Truthfully, I would just say like the thing that kind of took me out of the hobby the most was just the amount of negativity the community has. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that the community is being negative, because obviously a large part of the community sees issues in things that Games Workshop is doing. And they're choosing to voice their opinions, not only, vocally or over the internet, but also through their spending habits and buying less GW. And, I'm all for that. It's just right now there's so much negative stuff outside of the hobby that like I can't be in the hobby while it's so negative as well. It
stops being enjoyable.
Right. And it's now become like an us versus them mentality, them being GW, and I'm just not into that, man. Like I just want to paint little plastic men.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I consider myself more of a modeler than a player. So I just like painting this stuff. And if I have a stressful day, I'll start painting stuff. That's it. And if the model looks cool, then that's it. If I want to do a diorama, cool. Do something different, play around with paint.
I'm definitely a painter and a player.
Yeah.
I hate modeling. Like if I could hire somebody to build my models for me, like
there are those out there.
Clip them, clean them. Scrape the mold lines, put them together in nice little sub-assemblies for me and mail them back. I would 100% take advantage of that service.
You got a job right there. You got a job right there.
Contact me.
Yeah.
Instagram, Shameless Minis, one word.
There you go.
Slide into the DMs if you offer that service.
Yeah, I want to make some money. There you go. Right there. Do you like customization when people do customizations and then they do like kit bashing for you?
Honestly, the kit bashing I kind of try and do myself. Like I still have a Chinork Warcopter in my model cabinet that I slapped together.
Nice.
Using truck bits and various little Defcopter pieces.
And you go into the dumpster, you got yourself an orc kit.
Yeah.
That's great.
Every kit is secretly an orc kit.
Absolutely.
The first Imperial Knight I ever did actually was orc.
Yeah,
kit
I
dash.
remember the shoulder pads, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
That was the first Knight I ever did.
That's awesome, and it came out epic. I love that thing. I love it. Yeah, man.
I actually bought a new piece for it too.
Did you?
And like the bit that you can see up there, the little chainsaw hand.
Oh yeah,
obviously. Because I think the chainsaw arms for the normal Imperial Knights look terrible. I think the ones with the Chaos Knights look terrible as well.
Oh, the hook.
Well, yeah, it's just the whole chainsaw thing. Like, it just doesn't. Like the gauntlet, you feel like
you could pick up a
it's
unit and
nimble.
throw it.
Like
right.
it could bend over, it could grab something,
Right.
pick it up. The chainsword is just like this little hacky arm that doesn't look like it does much.
I think that's kind of good for like opening up a tank, but I wouldn't. I can't see it nimbly
reach
going.
the tank.
Yeah, it'd have to like bend down.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't work for it. So I liked this one. I found one that was more like a circular saw, like power tool style.
Yeah, man.
So I was gonna get that and add that to the orc.
Yeah, that works, and especially because circular saws with orcs. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's nice and big.
Death Dread kind of thing. Yeah, man. Awesome.
Yeah. Kill
See,
saw.
See that? See, I know stuff.
Oh yeah.
I know stuff and I paint some things.
That's what I do. I paint and I know things.
That's right. I paint some things and I know things. Oh my. Well, being that the negativity in the hobby and everything, stocks are continuing to plummet for GW. But I don't know if that's because of people boycotting or it's just because lockdown in Europe is going away and people are getting out and they're not hobbying as much anymore. So it could be both.
Honestly, I would say it's less of the latter because even if people aren't hobbying, I know people who collect Warhammer products.
Yeah,
we still buy stuff, even if we're not putting it together and painting it.
That's true.
We still buy it and put it in our piles of potential.
Yeah, I just did that myself. Got to stop doing that. It's like a twitch.
It's not that people are getting back out there. It's, I mean, maybe to some extent, possibly. I can't say, an absolute that it's not, but I don't think that it's a large part of it.
No. Well, I mean, maybe it's just time for a change.
I think it is. Change we can believe in.
Making GW great again?
Yeah. Make GW great again.
There you go. We should have hats made. Oh, man.
We need hats.
That's right.
New merch coming to the store.
Let's check out our virtual chat and see what's going on here. The Commodore says, what was the thing that got you into the hobby? How did you start? All right, we'll start with you.
Warhammer Fantasy was a big... I walked into a comic book shop when I was like 12, 13 and saw people having a Warhammer Fantasy battle on this huge table. And of course, I was like a huge G.I. Joe fanatic as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the heck is this? Like, this is amazing. Like, these guys are grown-ups playing with toys in a battle, and they have rules for, like, every unit. It's like, this is, it, like, blew my mind. And then I found out how much it cost, and that wasn't happening on my $3 a week allowance.
Right.
But yeah, eventually, as I got older, I kind of kept around in, nerd circles. And I discovered Blood Bowl and Mordheim.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was getting together 15 miniatures and that being more miniatures than you'll ever need to play a game. A lot more feasible than building an entire army. So I started playing a lot of the old skirmish games like that. Blood Bowl and Mordheim specifically, because Mordheim and Blood Bowl both had this like continuous thing, like you played leagues and your guys could get experience points and you could get new skills or increase their stats or, just things. It was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me when I was a kid, well, I used to read Dungeon magazine and Dragon magazine, all because I thought dragons were cool and I liked the Hobbit and, Smaug and all that. I thought that was epic and I loved the artwork. And then in one of the magazines, I started seeing stuff like there was this I was a car fanatic too, so I saw this car game that you can play in miniature style, and it was some kind of roadkill, like a I don't know, like a Mad Max kind of thing.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was a GW thing or something like that. When I started getting into that and like just looking at the pictures and it'd be like, how cool would that be to play? And then I saw advertisement for Blood Bowl, and I'm like, football? Look at these miniatures. That's pretty crazy. And I was just in the library because I was just a kid. I came from a poor background, so library is where I got my magazine. I used to just chill in the library and read the newest magazine without buying a subscription. So guys and girls, if you do want to read a GW magazine, maybe ask your local library to see if they can get it for you. And if you just chill in the library and read yourself your magazines, you don't have to buy them. There you go. Anyway,
or subscribe to Warhammer Plus.
Oh, okay. So there was a scab starting to grow on that room, and you just ranked that sucker out.
Get access to all the White Dwarf issues ever.
Yeah. So when I got to an adult and stuff like that, and I saw the Warhammer stuff like in the cases, and I saw this Golden Demon winner, and it was in Manhattan, actually in 34th Street. It's called Strategic. I have a paintbrush from them. Anyway, it was a store in Manhattan at the base of the Empire State Building, and it was a huge nerd culture store. And I was there with my wife, and I said, "Hey, let me just check this out." I saw some nerd stuff in there, and I was like, "Ooh, maybe I can see a dragon or something like that." And I looked at the case. The dude's a Golden Demon winner, and he had some of the P3 stuff. I forgot which faction of it. It's this lady. She was in white, and she's like ascending, and there are people with chains trying to hold her back. And I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And I asked him how much for that miniature. It's not for sale. I was like, well, I'm thinking everything's for sale, right? So I said, all right, I'll give you $100 for it. It's like, it's not for sale. I'm like, shit. Okay, 200, not for sale. It's like 500, not for sale. Hey, you know what? That miniature, no matter what you offer me, is not going to be for sale. But you can buy the miniature over here and the paint's over here, and you can paint up your own. How's that? And I'm like, okay. So it was like my first miniature. And then of course, the next week I bought myself my, it was Warhammer Fantasy Elves and Orcs. I forgot the name of the box set, but it was a starter box.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was that. It was interesting. And I was going to use it for my D&D campaigns. And then I got into D&D around that time later on. But as a kid, Dragon Magazine, looking at the ads, thinking it was cool as heck, watching these miniatures going around. I'm like, it would be so cool to own one. So yeah, that's kind of
there was just sorry to interrupt that last part.
There's a car one.
Yeah, there was a GW post-apocalyptic.
That was the one.
It was called like Dark Wheels or something.
I forgot what it was called. That was
it was like out in the
kid.
desert, and like it was almost like a Twisted Metal.
Yeah. That's it.
There's even a game on Steam.
Is there?
It's really jank. But I mean, GW will sell their license to anybody. As long as you got money, buddy, you can make a GW game.
Shout out to the Commodore. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Superfly.
Oh, Jimmy Snooker.
Jimmy Snooker.
How are you, Mr. Snooker?
Yeah, right. Superfly says, how do you fight burnout? How do you fight burnout? Wow, that's like, that hits a hot topic.
You can't, like, burnout hits you. Like, it's, the main thing is just, for me at least, is like staying excited about the project that you're working on.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the man who's behind the curtain.
Okay, so.
But yeah, it's just, with me, I have to be excited about the project that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Getting myself a goal, like say I make a list that I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And these are the models that I'm missing to be able to play this list at the game shop. That moves to the top of my painting queue. I don't care what project I'm working on at the time. If I'm feeling that burnout, that moves to the top.
Right. For me is I switch gears. I was getting burnt out with Tau. Like really, over the summer I was banging them out and getting them done, unit after unit after unit after unit after unit after unit, and then I hit a wall. I was like, I'm so tired of painting white. I am just so tired of painting white. So, I got into Rain and Hell, completely game system. And then I paint things like this, which is completely out of the white wheelhouse. I don't think no white was used in the painting of this model at all, right? So I did that. So actually changing it up or getting terrain or doing some other projects. They say the best thing you can do is have yourself 3 projects. One project is your competition. You got to pour your life and soul into this thing, and you'll have it there for 2 or 3 years until it's done. And you keep on pushing paint until you're like ecstatic about it. And then you share it with the world and see if you win a contest or something like that. Then you have your second project. Your second project is your terrain piece or another game or something completely different from your main project. And your main project is what you truck along with. So if you need to take a break from it, and taking breaks are healthy with it, and that's how you would avoid burnout and still be productive in the hobby. Or sometimes you just walk away. You give yourself a month off.
Yeah.
Give yourself a month off and then come back and say, you know what? Give myself a break. I'm really excited about painting because this hobby, if you're not happy in it, you're doing it wrong.
That's basically where, I'm on in terms of I'm on a hiatus.
Yeah.
I mean, well, not so much from the hobby. The hobby, like I said, I kind of stepped away from in general. Like I'm just doing the painting right now. And I still love the painting, but it's a lot of stress going on.
Yeah,
in
life.
The house,
Life.
Dad passed away,
Sorry,
and
man.
it's like things like that. They're gonna come up, and I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, things like that don't exactly consist of burnout, but don't be afraid to step away from the hobby for a while. Like your paints aren't gonna all dry up and go bad.
Nope.
You can come back to it. And I mean, this video's a few months old, but this is, my normal workspace. And it's still there. It's still in my garage, still in my studio. And it'll be there whenever I'm ready to pick up the brush again.
Yeah, and having a dedicated place where you can paint is that you can just pick it up where you left off is really kind of important to have. So this way, because if you have to take out your whole painting setup every time you have to paint, you're less likely to come back to it. But if it's all ready to go and you just have to sit down and paint, oh man, I got an hour. You can do just an hour a night.
Right.
You don't have to spend 8 hours at a time.
Whenever you only have an hour to paint and it takes you 45 minutes to get your stuff set up.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to run into those issues instead of just being able to fill up a cup of water.
Right.
Or, get your wet palette saturated and then just sit down and start painting.
Speaking of which, you want to clean out your wet palette because if not, it'll start getting the jankiness on it. So always put some soap and clean it out completely and then have it nice and dry. And then when you're ready to paint and you're taking hiatus like that, I usually do it after every project. Like if I do a unit of something and then I'll just completely wash it out, let it dry out and bring it back. And then I never have any mold or stuff like that. Plus I put a little bit of alcohol in there.
Like some isopropyl?
Isopropyl alcohol in there. I just put a drop in the corner and kind of mix up and slosh it in together. It just kills any kind of bacteria in there.
Fair enough.
So that's how we avoid burnout. Very good question, Superfly.
Yeah, and Rob made a good point on that one too. Of just switch up your project. Like if you're sitting there like I don't want to paint this anymore, and that's what's keeping you from sitting down. Go look at your pile of potential. It's like what excites you. What's like, oh man, I could start working on this. Just start working on it. Like I keep telling Rob, just go paint some Nurgle. And he's like, no, I have to do 500 hours of research on rust and pus and goo. And I can't just do that.
No, I can't just, no.
And that's fair, because that's Rob.
Yeah. I want to paint bruises.
Yeah.
Oh, you look at the texture.
Honey, where's my modeling hammer?
It gets yellow. It gets yellow too. I got to paint yellow. I do a lot of research for mine because I want to I use reference photos for a lot of stuff and try to recreate it because even if I'm close, it looks pretty good. It's not exactly the same.
No, I mean, honestly, doing this muscle fiber, I had, a human skeleton or muscular skeleton. That sounds weird.
So let's just be clear. Just to be clear here. No one was harmed in the making of that mini.
No.
You didn't have a person there and flayed one. I just had a flayed person in my room.
I do like the flayed boys in the Song of Ice and Fire game. They got salets and hinged flails, man.
I mean, I can't get with what they're about, man. I just can't do it. Oh,
you got the tickler
I don't know.
too.
I don't even want to know what that is. I don't even want to know what that is. That's right. All right. Anywho, Superfly goes on to asking, what are your top 3 weathering tips? All right.
Oh.
Yeah, this is your wheelhouse. I'm going to let you take this in just a bit. I'll just do mine really quick.
No.
I like diorama effects, so I do a lot of AK interactive stuff. I like to use that, and then he's going to bring out something that I did over here that he gave me. Somebody was saying that, talking about that the other day, and they were like, "Man, all 3 for like $78? No, thank you." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're kind of expensive. We're going to get into that in just a bit." But yeah, diorama stuff. I used to do that. I do that. There is one AK interactive pot, and I just bought it, and it has a corrosion texture. So you actually create the corrosion texture, like rust or something like that. You can put that on there. So having texture, having that, and using the interactive products diorama style, because if you ever look at these diorama, the people that make diorama and their work, like their World War II stuff is like crazy. World War II, and it's like the rust that they do in the effects and the weathering they do is just absolutely amazing. So you may want to consider going out of the wheelhouse of hobbyists of wargaming and check out local communities, World War II enthusiasts, railroad modelers for terrain. I use my hobby of 124 scale race car or car enthusiasts, which I started off 124 models. And I use all the knowledge and tips and tricks that I get from that, and I just apply it to my wargaming. And when you have those hobby sources from different places, your wheelhouse just becomes bigger, and you get attacking. And every different project calls for different kinds of corrosion. You have your rust, you have your slime, you have your the green weathering, the patina, depending on the metal. So there's all different kinds of approaches. So if you have a bigger wheelhouse, that's how I would approach it. Now, the master.
So I do a lot of weathering. Main thing, I love chipping fluid. Mm-hmm. Chipping fluid is like weathering 101. Like, use it, love it. Put yourself down a rust coat, would just do your browns, your purples, your reds, your yellows, just all over the bottom. Put a layer, put some kind of varnish on that. Throw your chipping fluid over it. Paint your base coat. Just a little water. Dabble do ya. Get yourself either a paintbrush, toothpick if you want to do like scratches to reveal the rust. Like, just something as simple as that adds so much character to especially vehicles especially. But I mean, you could even do some chipping fluid on your Marines if you want to chip down to that bare metal underneath their armor. Secondly, this stuff, dirty down rust, can only get it across the pond, as they would say, from what I've been able to find out. FX, Titanic FX, I think was the site I was talking about. I believe they're the only ones I found that actually ship this to the U.S. You're going to pay about $20 in shipping. And each bottle of this is about $5. So buy 4 of them if you buy anything.
I saw all 3 of them for like $78. So I don't know. Maybe they raised the price because of availability.
Maybe. That's a possibility. Yeah. But I still have like 5 bottles.
That's awesome.
From what I have at home. I bought the verdigris one. Nice. I bought the moss one. Interesting stuff. The moss was kind of cool. And that was actually going to be my next one here. Weather you would, people. Weather you would. Mm-hmm. Get you, just like you would do a patina or a verdigris on, your brass, copper kind of stuff. Do your greens on your wood. Mm-hmm. Like, get that mossy growth on there. And like that is honestly something that I've only started doing recently, is using much lighter woods and then using the greens to kind of gunk them up and make them look old and weathered and rotting, and it's amazing.
His stuff is amazing. You should really check it out.
But yeah, the dirty down, it's water soluble. It gives you texture and depth. If you add water to it, once it dries, it'll actually lighten it up. So you can just sit there and play around getting random rust effects and different colors. just this is the best stuff I've ever used. And I've used pigment powders. I've used GW products. I've used what's it? AK Interactive.
Yeah.
Which God, it's only 3. Man, the streaking grime, man.
Yeah, man.
The grime. Like, you got to get down with the grime time. Get you some mineral spirits. Embrace the grime.
Yeah, I got some of their products over there too. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, weathering is where it's at.
Yeah. But yeah, especially the dirty down. The thing that I love is that it's water soluble. So if you make a mistake, you just take a wet brush and it just disappears.
I love it. I love it. You know, I had somebody tell me that, and this is gonna be interesting. So for your bases and stuff like that, you know, I believe firmly that your base is the setting, the scene in which your mini is in.
Yeah.
One person said, people who do bases is because they don't have enough talent to paint their minis, so they want to detract from it. I was like, wow, really? That is janked up.
I think I'm now more stupid having heard that comment.
Intelligence score -1. All right,
wow.
Take a hit to your tongue.
That's some big smooth brain thoughts there. You know, you don't want all them wrinkles getting in the way of your thoughts when you're having them. It's better to have a smooth one. Woo! Oh my!
Yeah, so I like doing a little bit of weathering, and I like to continue. If you're doing it on the model, please continue it onto the base and set your scene for your model. It's really, really important because they're living in a world. You know, I mean, it depends. Some people do the clear bases because they want to see whatever game table they have underneath, and they want to see that. So, you know, like a pitch or something like that, and you want to see that background. So, you know, I see where that thought comes into it, but that's just not me. I mean, some people don't like having an entire, like, you know, scenery moved with their model.
That's
so
me.
There's that too. But I personally just think that these models are avatars for whoever it is that they are. They're representing something. Obviously, they don't independently move. And if they did, that's the next level of mini play. Oh my gosh, just roll control. Your army is going
yeah, it's like
make it happen.
The meme that's like when Andy comes home from the toy store with new toys, and it's like a whole Nurgle army. And all the other toys from Toy Story are just like scared to death.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, they should be. They should.
But no, I 100% agree with you.
Let's play in the garden.
Like, I mean, every character, even your standard Space Marine, is a miniature diorama.
Yeah.
And that base is your opportunity to sell the fact that this thing lives in a world.
And apparently everything is leaping off a rock.
Yes. Everything is, there's just always a convenient rock for you to stand on and look heroic.
You see, now the rock is in the background over here. I'm being rebellious right there.
He's being dainty. Just with his little goat toe.
No, he did his whole heroic pose, and now he's getting down. He's ready for the next photo shoot.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, somebody get me some coffee. You got a water there?
So bring me a water. I'm parched, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Get over here. All right. All right. Superfly. Oh, man. Superfly is being awesome here. He has another question here.
Snooker.
Yeah. Mr. Snookers. Yes. Any tricks for batch painting? Oh, that's an interesting one.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to move the camera from mine.
Batch painting is such a personal thing. Like, because you have the people that they'll do all of one color before they touch another color. And then you have the people that's like, you know, like I want to do with my ogres. It's like paint the skin, paint the pants, and then paint every ogre one by one until it's done.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it's like half of it is skin, half of it is pants. Get those two things done, and then paint every single one to completion.
There's definitely value in that because once you finish a model, the endorphins kick in and you get excited that you actually got something completed.
Yes.
And then you kind of motivate yourself to keep painting. This way, it'll eliminate that burnout that you got right there. Actually, I have some things that I am batch painting right now on my game table. I think I'm gonna bring the camera over so you can see. Ooh, I'm gonna really check this out. Oh, the mat! I can't reach it. That was the most epic fail. That was the most epic fail. I was like, oh no, it doesn't reach. Oh well, it was a nice try. Anyway, I do have batch painting I'm doing. I believe you can see it over here. I believe in sub-assemblies, and what I do is I take the legs part, and that's gonna be my base, right? That's gonna be the base of the model, and I paint them up fully right there. Ooh, you got some stuff going on in there. Ooh, nice texture.
Yeah,
some lines.
That's the texture I was talking about.
It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Thank you. And the model looks much better in person than the photos.
Doesn't that always?
Yeah,
it's always the case.
Like honestly,
yeah,
he looks. I love him because I was calling him Bacon Boy by the end of this because he was just so fat and marbled. Just...
whenever I see how to dry your hands, I'm like, put your hands here, get bacon. Like, is that the symbol? I'm like, yes. Why is mine is broken? Bacon is not falling out of this.
Excuse me, sir. Mine only gets water out of here. I'm supposed to have bacon?
Wash your hands, get bacon. It's a reward. All right. You have to go back and wash your hands. It's just an endless cycle. It's like the loop. So batch painting, I think we're both in agreement that we paint all the basics, like you said in the last, and I really like that, the big strokes. You get the large strokes there, and then you get infinite minutia until you finish one. So
because I did it the other way, I did those 30 hard boys.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's rough.
I did it color by color.
Oh, that is rough.
And yeah, it was not fun.
No,
most fun I had in that whole thing was getting to do the banners.
Bases, and banners. That's
and that was like my last step. So it was like push through this, like get this done.
This
then
is
you
your
get to
reward.
paint the banner.
Yeah,
you get to do some freehand stuff that's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So there it is. To keep your motivation going. I think that's two of your questions actually. To keep the hobby actually that was Commodore's. To keep the hobby motivation going. Paint the broad strokes and then do all the details and finish one model at a time. And if you finish one model every day, you feel a lot more productive than if you're doing 30 and then you just did, a belt.
Right. Painting 30 belts as opposed to getting 3 models finished.
Yeah.
One of them is going to keep you motivated.
Right.
The other one is going to burn you out.
Right. Exactly. Especially if you have to get different lengths of belts, and then
especially when it's something so innocuous as like painting the shoes. And it's like, oh, I painted 50 pairs of boots today. And it's like,
and you got to say it like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like my models look almost no different, except now they have brown feet.
Yeah. You say it like Luke KPS, Bran. That lace Bran. Major love for Geeks Aiming Scenics. That dude was one of the moods that motivated me to get my YouTube channel. A couple of people did, but he did one because he did this I think it was the Dark Imperium where he had no clothes on and posed with it, and he did a thumbnail like that. And I'm like, well, that's clickbait. What the heck is going on here? He's totally gonna get chopped off of YouTube. So I want to see people destroy themselves.
That's definitely what we should be doing.
Like a train wreck. People like to watch train wrecks. Like you can't look away. It's terrible. And it doesn't end, but.
All he was wearing was a rubber band and a Night Titan.
It was weird. It's the weirdest thing I saw. It was like, I think it was the first time I ever saw clickbait. So I was like, I gotta check this. Oh wow. Oh, it has nothing to do with. I thought he was gonna get kicked off the YouTube. Anyway.
Yeah, you never want to hear it looks like bait when you're naked, do you guys?
Moving on. Let's check virtual chat over here. And this is why he's shameless. All right, so Big D, the Gamecraft Dragon, check him out. Gamecraft Dragon does excellent shows, a lot of talk shows, and it's a lot of people on various topics, and he is a competitive player, so he's all about talking about competitive stuff. Also, he likes to craft his own miniatures and stuff, not just miniatures, but like his own bases. He does his own fur. He's always looking for different kind of materials to use, and just changing it up. Gamecraft Dragon, check him out from YouTube. So Big D says, what's the one thing that draws you into a mini or a line of minis above anything else? So if you had to choose one thing that drew you to, let's say, Nurgle, or I don't know, Emperor's Children, or whatever.
Actually, I ended up going Iron Warriors.
Iron Wars?
I did Iron Warriors.
There you go.
Guys, I was looking at Iron Warriors, and I was like, I can Nurgle these guys up. So I kind of, just in general though, I do plan for my Iron Warriors to be a bit more nasty looking. Like I want them to be like rusty and crusty, and have their caution stripes, hazard stripes, all kind of
so you like the
buggered up, and I haven't wanted to paint hazard stripes. Basically, I was like, what's something extremely difficult but simple at the same time? And I said Iron Warriors. Because they're 99% silver. Yeah. But they have hazard stripes.
Vallejo metal color.
Everywhere. Yeah, Vallejo metal color, 100%.
Yeah. And if you're doing the yellow, I take a little bit of, I take a little bit of brown ink or sepia, Cerebron sepia. And I'll just get one end and put that nice brown tone into it.
Honestly, I'm actually just using it straight gold. Because I think it's just such a cold, dead-looking metal that it works really well with the Iron Warriors.
Oh, for your hazard stripes, using gold?
No. I'm using. No, I start with like the orange and kind of work my way up.
Oh, okay.
Too. I guess that's another way of doing it though, because usually I paint down like my yellow and then my brightest yellow, and then I kind of like. Along the edge, I kind of like feather in some orange, like that's pretty cool. Like the Fugan orange wash. I'll feather that up from the end. Yeah, Fugan. Or do an ink, something like that brings that orange tone.
That's cool.
In there.
That's cool. So the one thing about your that draws you to a miniature line would be the one thing.
It's purely aesthetic. Like and sometimes I can't even explain why I like the aesthetic. I guess with Nurgle, especially Death Guard, it's that most of the army is the old Horus Heresy stuff carried over, so they look different. Even though they have Space Marines, Terminators, all that stuff, it's the Horus Heresy, Yeah. So they look different from the new Imperial stuff. They look different from the new Chaos stuff. They have their own identity. Like even now, I'm starting to get drawn into Thousand Sons, which I never thought I would actually like that. But the more I'm looking at it, I'm just like, dude, it's got this turquoise pop with the silver.
Bruh.
It's beautiful.
I'll tell you one thing. When I did my Night Titan and I did the Thousand Sons getting decimated by a Thunderwolf, it was a lot of fun painting the turquoise and the yellow. I had fun painting him getting decimated. It was a lot of fun painting because turquoise, man. Turquoise is such a great color.
I've always had a slight love for him, obviously, because you did my Zinch themed Blood Bowl team, where I took you took Corn Blood Warriors and replaced the heads with the. What are they? The Scarab? Not the Scarab Lords. Those are the Terminators.
Yeah.
Rubric Marines. They're awesome. They are cool. And the Zangors. Yeah. And it's all this little stuff that's like I'm really starting to look at Zinch and not so much as a fan, but just as a fan of the colors.
I wanted to make purple armor. Yeah. And it was like do the silver, pink. Do the purple pink into there. It was kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Like I'm just looking at like the pink demons, and then they turn into the blue hordes.
Yeah, they just never end.
It's like you go from bubblegum blobs to turquoise blobs, and then you go into like little fire blobs, and it's like you just get to play with all these really bright, vibrant colors and just make them all work together.
So basically, it's the aesthetic of the miniature that draws you in, the look of it that draws you in, not the rules, not the edition that you're playing and the movement or the way it works.
Right, and not even the aesthetic of the model, but like even just if I have an idea for a paint scheme, like I almost sold myself on Necrons, doing like black metal with like bright red highlights for everything, you know, like most people do the green on the silver.
Yeah.
Or something. I wanted to do like vibrant red over like a blackish metal, and I was like, dude, those things would look ridiculously sick on the table.
Yeah, man.
And I almost bought a Necron army.
I kind of did that. And this is how I did mine. Now check this out. This is how I do, because I don't know how many armies. I lost count.
Yeah, I can tell you how many
I don't know. Anymore. I don't know. It's just a blob there. I have to look there and categorize because there's boxes everywhere. But yeah, so I bought this mat. I bought this gaming mat for my gaming table. And I happened to order the wrong one. And it came with a Necrons theme. And it has like a blue, like Necron kind of thing going on to it and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I'm not really big on returning stuff if I buy it. So I was like, what am I going to do with that?
Let's buy more stuff to go with it.
So I'm watching Nick, Warhammer Unification Group leader, Nick. Yeah. Edic Beer 40K is his channel, and he's a good guy. He actually, he tries to uplift smaller channels. He's great in the community, and he does respond back to your videos.
He was a blast to have on the show too.
Yeah, man, he's awesome. He wears the TMP shirt. He still does in the videos. I love the shirt. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And well, he's like, he saw my Pile of Shame video. It's got like 2,000 views already. So he said, well, you know, somebody take this guy's wallet. And then, well, at least you have some Necron stuff in there. And that's when it clicked. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should get some Necrons. Yeah. So then I was like, well, this model looks cool, so I'll just get that. And this model looks cool, I'll just get that. And then I was with buddies, well, not with, but I'm in a group with some Wolf Lords, and it's pretty cool because you're part of that too. And yeah, they're doing orcs right about now, and I'm like, wow, that is kind of cool. Oh, that is kind of cool. Oh, that is kind of cool. And then I asked my friend, Wolf Brother James Meeks, and they call him Meeks clap them cheeks. Don't ask, don't tell. All right, that's what they say on the show. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. This is not my words. I'm quoting. You know who you are. All right, so I am not kidding. All right, so can't make that up. So anyway, the Beast Snaga Orcs box came out, and I thought that was just so cool. And I tried to get it in the store, and I was like, well, if they got new boys, then I'm going to get it, right? And then I'm going to get into the army. And then they came out with new boys, and it was like, oh, that's kind of cool and stuff like that. So he waited online because I couldn't get it in the local store. I was like, well, if he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it, right? So he waited online for like 2 hours, and he said I had to fight a kid to get it. I'm like, oh, sucks for you. Stinks for you, kid. All right. so yeah.
That's what you get for being small.
Right. So then I bought that, and then I was like looking into the orc stuff, and I just kept on getting, and I had to fill that whole bottom shelf. So that's what I did. Fill that whole bottom shelf with orcs, and there you go. Well, not, yeah.
No,
it's kind of little.
Yeah, you got a little bit more to go.
Yeah, there's that. But, you know, just try to how to fill out some stuff. So I guess for me, it's totally aesthetic. I have the codex for the orcs. I didn't even open it yet. I have the cards. They're still in the plastic. And I don't even know if I'm going to paint it this year. If that's going to be the new army for this year or next year or the year after or at all. I don't know.
No. I mean, it's...
Who knows?
Hey, just to further expand on that, I have an entire AdMech army.
Oh, there's that.
Like the last AdMech release,
Arquebus
that came out,
Transatlantic
Aqueducts, man.
Aqueducts. Oh man, those are some cool models.
Transatlantic Arquebus, but we call them the Transatlantic Aqueducts.
I call them the toasters with long range.
But no, a lot of the stuff that came out during the last AdMech release, you know, the planes, the warhorse dog things,
Yeah.
the little vulture guys and flamethrower. I don't own any of them.
Yeah.
Don't want them. The little like flamer dog guys, they're not terrible looking, but for me, they just don't fit the aesthetic.
So that I think that's the key word to answer Big D's question. It's just falling in love with the aesthetic of it, not even the lore as much.
That's how you get
aesthetic
into an
draws
army.
me.
That's how I tell new people how to pick your army.
Right.
Go on to GW, look at all the models, find the ones that make you say, that's cool.
The ones that say, hey, I am willing to spend the next 500 hours looking at these things while I paint the entire army. So if you can stay looking at it and be interested 500 hours later, then that's the army for you. And then you can figure out how to play. But again, we paint first before we play. So it's all about, you can play.
You can play.
Yeah. Some people like that, the rules, and that's what they're all about. So, you know, then I would say go to Wapedia. They're amazing. Have you been there?
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Love that site.
Love that.
Honestly, I would even say, like, I don't mind somebody bringing gray to a game.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see the same gray next week.
Thank you.
Or the same gray a month from now.
Right.
Like
get a union down. Get a unit down this month.
But like that's also on us as the community when we see that gray showing up week after week.
Yeah.
We got to intervene as friends and fellow gamers.
Let me pull you to the side here, buddy.
And
we need
ask
to have
him
like,
so how's the hobby progress going, buddy?
Right. We do that to ourselves. Like, I'm almost afraid to get on the show without having something. Like, it's like, oh man, he might bring it this week, and then
like
I was in trouble.
I really wanted to sit down and paint something to bring on the show and the show this week, and I even said like Thursday, Friday, I'm gonna paint, and just unfortunately it didn't work out. Friday I had a massive tension headache, and Thursday was the cause of that massive tension headache.
Right. So finding yourself somebody to keep you accountable. One of the things you can do too is start yourself a little YouTube channel because you have to have content, so you need to paint.
Or a Twitch stream.
Something.
And Twitch stream, honestly, that was a huge thing for keeping me motivated. Is like I knew I had to sit down and paint for like 4 or 5 hours tonight because I'm going to be live on stream.
Right.
So it's like during the day I had to know like what model I was painting. It had to be primed and ready. Like, you know, I would have to build things because it's like, oh man, I'm almost done with this project. So I better start building this other thing so I can get it primed up and ready to go. You know, it was a good way of keeping me on track. And like, I really miss being able to do them as often as I used to.
Right. Yeah, but life sometimes get in the way. But find yourself an accountability person. Get yourself into a little gaming group where everybody holds each other accountable and say, you know, it's like, all right, that's pretty cool. What did you get done over here? Or can we hang out and paint together? Or, you know, there's this one thing what brother Methos from the channel Frost and Fist does is that after he does his live show, he's like, hey, let's just get together and paint and chat it up. And we get into like this group thing, and then we just paint and talk while we paint. So having a group that you just chill and chat. We did it a couple of times where I called you up and we were just hobbying and just talking and hanging out. So, you know, and the time goes by when you're doing that. So if you're glazing for hours, it just feels like you're doing it for 10 minutes.
That's fair.
Yeah, man. So the one thing that draws me into mini or a line of minis is the look. 100% the look. If it's not cool, then I'm not painting it. Period. I don't care what the rules say.
Yeah, it's the look, or if I have an idea
rules can
for
change.
A paint scheme that's going to affect the look of an army, that's what draws me in.
Like, the rules can always change.
The rules will change.
The model's not going to change after you paint it.
Yeah.
You got to like looking at it. You know?
It's gonna spend 90% of its time
in the cabinet,
model cabinet, or wherever you keep your models.
Unless you play frequently, and then I envy you because either you don't have a job or you're independently wealthy.
I was going to say, unless you're playing all day, every day.
Right. And if you don't have a job, then I feel bad. Go get outside the house. Because, you know, come on now. All right. Anywho. Big D from the game Craft Dragon, thank you Big D for writing these things out, says brand new army must do custom paint What are your base 3 colors?
So like, if I'm doing an army, what are my 3 go-to colors?
All right, so brand new army must do a custom paint scheme. Let's say if you have somebody you're painting it for, has to do a custom paint scheme, and they say, have at you, do whatever you want, carte blanche, right? What are your 3 base colors?
Man,
I'm going to tell you right now, if I happen to be angry, it's going to be more towards the warm red colors. If I'm just chilling, it's going to be more of the blue colors. And if I'm feeling funky, it's just going to be somewhere in the green and purple. Like, no, what is it?
Purple's nice.
Yeah, man. Making something like funky.
Green, purple, and cream.
Or I'm happy to look into the hobby community and I see these, like, I'm part of this group. It's called Heavier Metal. And
okay, yeah.
And I get
metal
inspired.
Miniatures?
Yeah. No, it's not metal miniatures. It's like heavy metal. Like the heavy metal painters, but heavier. In other words, Golden Demon winners.
Okay. See, I thought they were like doing the heavy metal style on like the metal miniatures. That's why they were the heavier metal.
Yeah, no.
Heavier.
It's better than heavy metal. That's
Gotcha.
what they're trying to say.
Gotcha.
The quality is better than heavier metal. Like, Richard Gray is on there and stuff like that. So there's that kind of stuff here. I don't know if this is ever gonna come.
If I like a go-to paints, man, like cream, like your Shopty Bones Screaming Skull kind of color.
Yeah.
What is it? Manaroth White from P3.
Oh yeah, Manaroth. That's the lady of the first. Oh, get on the chains. The Manaroth faction.
Okay.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I did a thing.
Yeah. Recollection,
as the millennials like to say. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's gorgeous. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. It's just better than heavy
disgusting.
Metal. Yeah, I know. I know. Look who's on there.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, it's just Golden Demon winners and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Greens and purples have been a lot of my go-to, but then again, I've been painting a lot of Death Guard.
It's gorgeous. Anyway, a lot of Death Guard. So,
cream is such a versatile color for me, like especially the way that I paint with my streaking grime, things like that.
Do you prime your model white?
No, I prime it black.
Like the second you get home?
Nope. Prime it black.
Okay.
And then I paint it brown, and then I paint it cream.
Welcome. So he's the cream. I do like blue. I tend to like, if I'm not thinking something blue, but generally if it's going for a paint scheme, I go for something that I'm intimidated with. So if they say yellow is really hard to paint, so I'm probably going to paint the yellow orcs. I'm going to probably do that because you know what? If it scares me, you have to conquer it. So I'm a big person of a big proponent of, if something scares you, you attack it with feather. You fail 100 times. Feather. Not fiber or fiber or optics. No, you attack the thing because you're only going to get better at what you do. If you're not doing it and you're intimidated by it, then you're not going to get better. I hated painting white. I couldn't do it. Naturally, I have to paint a whole tower in white.
Well, and that's the thing is, I mean, you spent the time to learn. Like, I mean, you played with inks, you played with paint.
Oh my gosh.
You played with primers.
20 different whites.
Yeah.
Different companies. Like, no, that stinks. 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 How many times am I going to fail? No, that stinks. No, that stinks. And then finally I'm like, yeah, this is what works for me. And that, you have to find out what works for you.
Yes.
So there's that. So going for a color that scares me, let's say if it's bright pink and I'm doing some like synthwave stuff like that. So then I build this one color and then I find that I go on the color wheel and I'm like, okay, so what are the contrasting paints? What are the triads? What are 3 colors that really blend into them? And that's how I pick my colors. So picking out one color, going onto the color wheel and having that influence your next 2 colors. Those are my the way I pick things.
Yeah. Analogous colors,
that's
complementary colors.
There it is.
So
wordsmith.
Yeah.
Not like Will, but
well, yeah, so you take like purple and orange, right?
Yeah.
Because they're to either side of red. So I mean, you can take purple, highlight it to a pink. You take that orange, highlight it to a white. And just, you can get these dynamic pops between these colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And that's more what I did like with my Synthwave Tyranid that
it looked cool, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Did you finish that? The Synthwave?
I never did any more than that.
Oh, come on, you gotta do this. Put up a carapace, man. Put it up on your Twitch, man. I'm motivating you here. See, I told you.
I honestly, I don't even think I took pictures for the gram.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess
you should be proud of what you did, man. It looked awesome.
Someone redeemed it in the chat. 15,000 channel points. They got to pick the color scheme.
That's
and
awesome.
they sent me a picture of like some cyberpunk Tokyo thing, and I was like, okay, I see like neon purples and pinks and oranges. Awesome. That's exactly what I'm going with.
There's a challenge. Have someone in the audience win a competition on your channel and then have them pick the army, and you have to do an entire army in the color somebody else picked.
See, and he was doing like all kinds of crazy. So he's like, maybe I should just mess with you and like have you just paint an army with different colors of brown. And I was like, dude, do you see what I paint? I'm pretty much doing that now.
Brown. You and your Bran. Bran is so easy to wet blend, though. I
love browns.
I will always call it Bran.
Bran.
What's that lake color? That lake color isn't blue. It's brown. Got that Bran Lake. Love that. Like, such a funny dude. All right. Big D coming in the clutch again in the virtual chat. All right. So, is there an army figure or any game system you don't have but really want, and why? All right. You first, because I have to think about this one. That I don't have?
There's definitely a few from Creature Caster that I don't own, but I would really love to paint. Like, they have this Harbinger of Decay, where it's like this.
Ooh, I like their stuff.
Big fly head guy that's like standing up there with like the sights.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's really cool stuff.
That's a really cool model, and I would love to paint that as like a just because it's so Nurgle.
Their Great Unclean One proxy with the antlers. So cool with the mouth going. That is so cool. I love that.
Or even their female one where she has like the belly that opens up and the tongue flant. Like,
so great.
They just do so many cool little things. Like, I mean, they're not like the greatest models of all time, but they're they're fantastic. They're affordable. And just, I would love to paint something of theirs. They even have like the little sets where you can get like the 5 guys on like 32 mil for like $50 or something.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like, it's ridiculously well priced.
Yeah, well, compared to.
Yeah, comparatively to another company.
Right. Well, I do have to say, mold injected plastic is easier to work with than resin.
100%.
And if you're working with resin, please wear a mask because that stuff is toxic to your lungs if you breathe it in.
I've actually found a really great resin company, though. Black Market Miniatures. Just check them out.
I gotta check that out. Black Market Miniatures. Cool. Me, any figure that I really want. I don't know about Army because I tend to be really spoiled. I am a spoiled jerk. That's what I am. If I want something, I get it. I mean, I save for it.
Just about any army I could want.
Yeah, so if I thought it was cool, I have it in the pile of potential. I keep on thinking the pile of potatoes. I don't know why. Right.
Potatoes have a lot of potential, so you're not far off.
I mean, you know, the starch turns into sugar. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew.
Oh my gosh, yes. Did you bring second breakfast? All right. Lord of the Rings, man. I actually got married with the One Ring. I mean, people try to take it to Mordor all the time, and I'm like, no, I have the power. All right, anyway.
Calm down, Gollum.
Mine, my own, my precious. Oh no, I'm infringing on DW's IP. You know, maybe I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Have you seen the models? They're horrible.
I know. They should really do something with that.
There's like
the Nth one are okay. Like a whole Nth army.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few models there that look nice. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The majority of them are just like garbo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Reaper Bones type.
Oh no, but no, it's plastic. It is plastic. It's just like the effort wasn't. They should do something more with that IP.
They really should.
They really should.
That's the thing, though, is it doesn't sell.
I mean,
that doesn't stuff for it.
That doesn't affect me. Like, because if I'm gonna paint it so I can show it off in a cabinet, and that's all I want to do with it, it has to be good looking.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, imagine just the diorama potential.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, if I could get some decent looking Fellowship of the Ring figures, like maybe I'll recreate that scene in like the Elf Garden. What was Agent Smith's name in that?
I don't even.
Ellendor or something like that. I don't know.
Oh no, I have.
It's been too long, and now I'm just losing friends on the internet by not knowing his name.
I'm trying to think of not lose this one thought. That's why I can't concentrate on two things at the same time.
Fair enough.
But I do know that this one artist, Caleb Wizenbach, which is the one of the heads of CK Studios. Yeah, CK Studios is the one where Sam Lance and Vince Venturella, if you want to take a class with them, they go through Caleb's his industry where he sets up these classes across the country. So if you want to get like Golden Demon winners to teach you how to paint these things, you go through CK Studios. Well, Caleb Wizenbach is pretty good. He was on the show. I showcased him once before. So he likes the motocross too. He's really into 40K. Awesome stuff. So he did this one diorama from Harry Potter where Voldemort is coming down. And he was playing with 3D printers, and he literally printed the staircase, the movable staircases coming down, and he's coming down, and his power is breaking the staircase, and the books are flying off the shelves, and he created stuff through 3D printing. You know, not just he did his STL files, like he made the scene and created it, and it looks absolutely stunning. Like, I don't know how many golden demons that dude has. Like Trevelyan. Ever seen Trevelyan?
Yes.
Dude has like, see how my pile of shame is? That's his golden demon. Like, he has just
I actually
so
watch him
many.
on YouTube.
He used to be a teacher. He quit his day job. I don't see that happening for me.
In due time.
Well, no, I like the kiddos. I enjoy. I'm not, you know the song. You don't know the song?
No. When we doing A.
I'm on vacation because I love my occupation. That's the words. That's the words.
Never too late to check your prostate.
It's true. It's why I'm building this. I have a catchphrase, and that is the catchphrase, and that's why I'm doing this beard for Movember. It ain't too late to check your prostate. Men's health. All right, anyway, there you go. So
it's true though.
Figures I want to build. All right, so supremacy armor for the town. Big things. Warhound.
Warhound?
Yeah, Warhound Titan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Warhound Titan. And then of course the big boy, Chunky Monks.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Vince Venturella said no. Don't do it. Because it's so much freehand, it'll literally take you like several years to get it done to the point where, because he says, I know you, Rob.
Yeah.
I know you, Rob. You will pour so many hours. You'll probably pour. He said it was me, and I did it for this charity for the Nova Open one year, and he did it with a whole bunch of other artists, including Caleb was back and a whole bunch of other Golden Demon winners, and each one had like somebody did the head, and then they did freehand on the head. Somebody took a leg, and then they did the freehand on the leg. Like every artist did their own thing.
Cool,
no. That was an awesome one to own. I would love to have whoever has that. I don't know what they would sell it for though. It's like,
like if you could just send out like each armor panel to like a different artist that you love and respect, and just be like, hey, how much to do this your own thing? Like,
no. There you go. I don't even have to paint the, and I don't like owning miniatures that I don't paint myself. I know.
It's like, no rules.
But I would do that. I'd have Vince paint something. Sam. I wonder how much it would cost to cut Sam Lance to paint me one of the Warlord Titans.
just an armor panel?
Well, first you got to start with one kidney on the black market. You know, who needs a liver? Okay, get that on there. Anywho, so yeah, there's big minis, some challenging stuff for me to do. Creature caster, I don't know, I'm all over the place. The thing is that, here's the thing about, I'm thinking about getting a 3D printer this Christmas, and I'm not just going to print everything. I can. I'll do it for scenery. If one of my friends say, "Hey, I really like blank," and say, "Here's the STL file," and I'll go for it. I'm like, "Okay, I'll print it out for you." But for me, probably for scenery and stuff like that. But I have a lot of backlog, and I don't need to have miniatures I'm never going to paint. Like that's what a lot of people do. They collect STL files. I mean, they have whole armies of miniatures they're never intending to paint.
Yeah, or print even. Right,
they just thought it was cool and they bought it. So
like they just joined a Patreon and now they get like.
See, now I'm going back and forth about then the 3D printer. So that's just it. So yeah, that I don't have. No, usually, except for the really, really expensive stuff, if I like it, I know I'll save money in a little envelope.
I think if you have
I get it.
I think if you have a purpose for the 3D printer, it's a great investment.
I can print out chess sets because I am an advisor for a chess team in the local area, and actually the local newspaper wants to do an interview with me, and I'm going to have a tournament in the area. So
nice.
Chess, yeah.
So yeah,
so I'm into things, so I can print out chess sets, like cool chess sets. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, even that, or if you have like an idea of like, oh man, I want to do this army, or I want something with this aesthetic. Like I want an old school dwarf army.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want GW's dwarves.
Right.
You can go find you a whole bunch of dwarf miniatures and make yourself an army.
Here's the thing that I would love to do. You know how you have extra bits, right? Mm-hmm. And you have like an extra torso, but you don't have legs.
Yeah.
I'd love to print out just one more leg. So and they'll add up.
Well, now you don't get that anymore because everything's monopose.
I got into the golden era before they did all that.
I did too. I used to have a bunch of old Space Marine bits and orc bits kicking around.
I do. I still have them. A whole bunch of stuff.
I got like a 90-gallon tote or something, 55-gallon tote, something. I don't know.
Oh my!
Just full of bits.
Full of something. I have totes full of something. Full of it.
That's disgusting. You're not going all Howard Hughes on me.
No, absolutely not. Andy Warhol. But all right.
I'm composted. Leave me alone.
Ain't that some army figures? All right, so yeah. And why do I want big things? Because it's challenging for me as a painter, and I want to grow as a painter, and I want to be recognized. Maybe get a Golden Demon. I mean, maybe not Golden Demon, because Golden Demon is just DW. I want to be able to be a reputable painter and be recognized as a reputable painter no matter what I paint. It could be Reaper, it could be a 3D printed model, it could be GW. If you're going for a Golden Demon, then it has to be GW, right? So that's that. So, yeah, so I don't know if and plus the statue is kind of ugly. I hate to say it. Slayer sword, though, that's...
Yeah, Golden Demon's not an attractive.
No, it's not an attractive. They could have done better.
You could paint it.
I mean, but it's got to start out looking good first. There it is. Any case.
But big things are, with an airbrush, big things are cakewalk, man.
I mean, it just depends how much freehand you want to put on it.
You just get in there and you just...
Like that wraith thing. So, anywho. Busts. There are a lot of busts that I want to paint. Yeah, there's a lot of busts that I want to paint that are pretty cool. I have a couple of them. All right. Let's see.
Next question.
Who took my dice miniature wargaming? Check them out here on your YouTubes.
I was thinking that was the next question.
I mean, no.
I was like, that's kind of a terrible question.
James is pretty cool. Yeah, he's actually really cool. Jameson, he comments on stuff on Facebook. He's very active and is a really cool dude. All right, questions. He says, what draws you to an army, fluff or playstyle? Aesthetics. None of those two. If I had to choose one of those, it would be the lore.
Fluff. I think fluff is a little bit part of the aesthetic.
Yeah, I'll call it the lore.
Because like, if Death Guard looked like Death Guard for a really stupid reason, that would probably turn me off of the look.
They ate lollipops and certainly
right.
It was on the floor past the 5 second roll.
Right, it's just
the 6 second. They got pustules because of that.
Right.
I mean, it'll stop children from eating off the floor, but there's that, and that's what those tales are for, right? The fairy tales to get your children to stop doing things.
That's probably why I haven't collected a corn army, because I really do like the corn aesthetic, but a lot of their fluff is really like one-dimensional. Like
it just keeps
angry boy.
Yeah,
angry boy need blood.
Keeps on getting stuck in my teeth though, and there's no nutritional value in it, and sometimes it gets recycled.
Like literally, Karn the Betrayer, like actually got so mad that he failed that he just started killing his own guys in like a major temper tantrum. Like that does not make me like that character. Right? Like I lost. I'm gonna murder all of you.
Anytime I paint an army, I was like, I can fit this into a D&D campaign.
Fluff is kind of important.
With the corn armies, they can fit into D&D really well. That'd be kind of cool.
Nurgle fits too.
Nurgle fits too. Nurgle fits as well. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to think of anything else.
Zange works.
There's a lot of stuff that could fit into D&D.
Yeah,
we should just totally do D&D campaign.
Yeah,
totally
just take
get
all
a lot
our
of
Warhammer
views.
miniatures and just run the biggest D&D campaign you ever seen.
I mean, really. You started off with. I started off with one flesh eater court ghoul.
Yeah.
But then there's just so much more. It's like here's Pandora's box.
Yeah, so you've awakened to the court.
Here's the key. Now don't open Pandora's box and walk away.
Pantera's box.
Walk on home, boy. Don't mess with Phil, man.
Don't mess with Phil. No.
Alrighty. So, okay. Who took my dice miniature war game says, how do you balance life and hobby time? That's a great question.
Poorly.
This is why we're friends. I love the honesty.
Very badly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like either your models or your kids are getting neglected. I got more pictures of my models on my phone than my kids.
Oh. Shame on you. You got great kids. I'm gonna beat you with something.
I see them every day. I just don't need to show them off to my friends.
They're real cool.
No.
Cool peeps.
No, I love my kids.
Better. You and I gotta have some words. We got some splaining to do.
Hey man, I challenge anybody. Take a look through your phone right now. You got more pictures of your models or your kids?
Shut up.
I'm not alone in this.
Shut up.
I'm not alone in this.
What if your models are your kids? Oh man, my reference photos alone. Why do you have rust and corrosion? Why are you taking pictures of bubbling someone's pimple? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's infected. It's terrible.
It's extremely difficult, but you definitely you try and find the time to hobby when you can. You know.
Here's what I do. Okay, I work on a reward system.
Who, the kids or you?
No, me. I will not allow myself to hobby unless I do A, B, C. Like I'll have a to-do list, and it's supplemented with honeydews. So, okay. So it's integrated like that. See, like my hands integrated like a zipper. Zipper. All right. So. And then once I get all those things checked off that list, my reward is that I go down and hobby. And that's it.
See, what do you do with that time when you fail to complete the list, though? Like, is that what the self-flagellation corner is for?
Nope. Nope.
Because I saw the whip and the drain.
I mean,
I just figured, maybe there was some kind of weird stuff going on there.
That's reserved solely for people who eat Cheetos and touch my models.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Nobody hears the screams either. It's great. It's great.
It is pretty soundproof.
It's pretty. Here. Yeah, it's a bunker.
I fear for my life.
No, you shouldn't. You have not touched my models with Cheeto hands.
I don't eat Cheetos. So.
We're safe.
Yeah, we're going to be best friends forever. And ever.
So happy together. Dun, 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 dun. No, I can't get it out of my head. All right. But yeah, that is a great question. Who took my dice miniatures? He asks another one in the virtual chat. What is the model that you are most proud of? Ooh. It's not my favorite model because my favorite model is the one I'm working on. Always. But the one you're most proud of.
My Great Unclean one I did.
Nice. It's gorgeous.
I really took my time. I think I put probably about 20 hours into that one. Just really took my time, made sure that I got the things correct. And it had its ups and downs. It had parts where it decided to completely go to crap on me. And I was able to pull it back from disaster. Nice. And it ended up looking really beautiful. All the magnetic bits fit perfectly. I was really happy with how that turned out, and it was probably the one I put the most effort into, and it came out really well. So, of course, that's the one I'm most proud of.
Nice. Yeah, mine is a similar vein. The one I put the most effort into, I must have sank at least 300 hours into the Wolf, Space Wolf's Night Titan. So, and when I did the base, and I always say this, your base needs to look just as good as your model. It's not an afterthought. All the effort you put onto your model, you have to put onto the base. Because if you don't, it just looks off. You have to sell the complete package.
I feel like you're like directing this specifically at me.
Why?
Because my bases are terrible. I literally just put down a layer of goo and maggots, and I'm just
see. I didn't do that. If you're self conscious about it, you know.
Oh, I see.
Now you can up your game.
Now I'm projecting.
I don't know. No idea.
It's not like you were looking me dead in the eye while you were saying that stuff. I'm just projecting that onto you. Okay, I see how it is.
Well, if I did, it was actually subconscious. So, hey, you know what? Here's the thing. If it gets you to be even better at what you do, and you're really good right now, then I'm not sorry. There you go. You call me out all the time.
I'm bringing some Cheetos next time.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get the drain unclogged. It's the hair. It gets mad in that drain.
Oh, look at this night.
Touch my Night Titan in a 24-hour. We'll be all right. But, yeah. I think that's the one I'm most proud of at the moment. Yeah, it took a long time. But pity I didn't put a tutorial on that. The freehand and stuff on that was intense.
No, I do. It's really well done.
Thank you.
I was really impressed with the amount of freehand that you did and the quality.
Everything has to be touched if you're going for a competition. Every corner, every bit has to be touched. And it's the only time you can do that without being incarcerated. We're talking Night Titans here.
I knew it was going.
I mean,
I tried to.
It was an open door.
I was wondering if I was going to support it or get out of the way, and I just stood there like a deer in headlights.
Look at that open door. Don't bring up deer. Oh, yeah. One ran into me, not into me per se, because that'd be messed up. My car. It almost impaled me, though. Almost came to the driver's side window. But close call. All right, anywho.
But he ran away, and it was fine.
Yeah. I support hunters. Deer jerky is amazing. All right, there you go. Yeah, it is. All right, so Wolf Brother Methos from the channel Frost and Fist came out with another question. Well, actually 4 questions.
Oh, man.
First one. How did you and Shameless meet? The game store. We just I just brought my army. I didn't know about the nerd culture, and you're supposed to do this in advance, and I kind of just like brought stuff to the.
Well, I think you and Corbin had met the previous week,
right?
And I think I came up there the next week,
right?
Just on happenstance, like bumped into you guys playing and talking, and I just kind of like hawked over the game and just chatted with you guys, and then next week I brought my stuff, and
we were all looking at each other's models.
Yeah.
Wow, what did you do this week?
Yeah,
what?
Like
That's
that
insane. Oh my gosh, those are good times.
That was like the biggest motivating thing in my hobby, man. And then like we started doing the show together, where we'd always have like, what did you work on this week?
Yeah,
and, that was another
started getting that back in there.
Thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, game store. Neverland Games, man.
Neverland Games. Yep. Absolutely. I remember the first time I brought my army there, and it was actually not GW. It was Privateer Press. It was my Troll Bloods army.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I sat there and I didn't know what to do. And I was just sitting there for hours alone, waiting for somebody to come in. It's like, well, you know, in the game starts, somebody has to play Wargaming. And
yeah,
it's my first foray into Wargaming. And the owner felt sad for me and called her brother, who actually played Warhammer Hordes, and he came by and was like, "Hey man, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Hey, we're gonna meet over here at this time and stuff like that. Why don't you come in?" Then I had to come in that time. But literally, I just sat there for hours, just waiting for somebody to happenly come by.
I used to do that with my Blood Bowl at Neverland.
Oh, we're more alike than you think. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I used to sit there with my Blood Bowl board set up.
Yeah.
Teams ready to go. Just waiting for someone to ask me questions, see if they wanted to play a game, and usually they gave up by turn 2.
Wow.
Because Blood Bowl's got a lot of rules.
It does have a lot of rules. I thought it was just like simple, and I'm like, no, crunch.
Honestly, playing the computer games helps.
Yeah.
Kind of understand like what it is you're trying to do, because it kind of simulates all the dice rolls and the actual rules, so you can just kind of see what you're supposed to be doing with your players.
Got a question for you.
What's that?
What are you wiping your paint off on the bottom into? What are those things?
Those are palettes for dry brushes. So they're textured palettes from Artist Opus.
Okay.
So like instead of doing a paper towel, it's like the thing that Kirioth paints on, or the Artist Opus guy when he's doing his dry brush, it's the large palettes.
This stuff is amazing. Artist, so this is stippling. Like,
yeah, I bought their super dry brushes. I got the full set, including the Series D, the big boy. D.
Okay, then now.
Yeah, so then I got tired of having to reach down by my knee to use my palette the whole time, so I decided to move that up, and I'll probably end up sticking my hand in it at some point in this video, because I like to do that.
There you go. There's that. All right, Wolf Brother Methos asks, what is your favorite kind of music? There's a lot, but I tend to be 90s hard rock, alternative. I like that. A little grungy. When I'm playing music in the background when I'm painting sometimes.
Mine would definitely be punk. Like early
Green Day,
punk.
Early Green Day kind of thing.
Yeah, more like Crass, Bad Brains.
Okay.
Like early's like 60s, 70s kind of stuff.
Oh, it's like Ramones.
Like going to the 80s.
Yeah. Rock and
like
Roll
Bad Religion.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's pretty
And then Bluegrass.
Bluegrass. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Little juxtaposition there, but
yeah,
I like music by the people for the people kind of thing.
I like Biggie Smalls and Tupac. I don't know, it's crazy. So I listen to that too. Like I listen to all kinds of music. Really, I'm very eclectic.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to everything probably except modern country.
Smooth jazz.
I grew up. My dad was a trumpet player, so a lot of Miles Davis and Louis Armstrong and my gosh. So
yeah,
definitely smooth jazz.
Yeah, 50s music. I like 50s music.
Doo-wop is fantastic.
That is amazing. Etta James,
especially like
the pipes,
the Wall of Sound from Phil Spencer. You know, with all his female bands like the Sha-Na-Nas and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Motown.
I mean, that's more 60s, but it's still in this whole kind of spirit of doo-wop, you know? Doo-wop, doo-wop.
Yeah. 60s. Yeah, 60s.
60s, yeah. Honestly, 60s, 60s and 70s I've grown out of kind of a bit just because my dad was such a big fan of like 60s and 70s, and at this point I've been listening to 60s and 70s for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's always the same songs. So I'm just like, you know what? If you
got if
you got some B-sides or something you could throw out there instead of the greatest hits, I'd be really appreciative.
There you go.
I mean, I still love it. I mean,
disco 80s.
Disco less so, but at the same time I can appreciate it.
No, like, Studio 54 for you.
I mean, there was a lot of booger sugar floating around at that time, so you needed that boogie beat to bounce to, you know.
I'm thinking Shaft.
Hey, I mean, I love Mama Curtis
like
Mayfield, guys. The Superfly soundtrack.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm your pushing man. Boom, 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 boom.
Get down on it.
Yeah, or Bootsy Collins. Like, I mean, those guys revolutionized bass playing. Oh yeah, in the 70s. Absolutely. So,
yeah. Are you a fan of the Fat Boys?
The Fat Boys
are back.
And
you know they would never be whack. But you know that the Fat Boys. Bismarcky, man. Bismarcky.
Yeah, Bismarcky's a good
You got what I need, GW. So lower your price point.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
That's the one thing about
GW. Yeah, overall, punk rock and bluegrass.
Nice.
In that order.
Okay. Yeah, I 90s alternative is usually my go-to because I was senior year and Nirvana came out. Like it was the new sound. Nevermind was the new sound, and it blew my mind. And then of course, the Black Album from Metallica that was really, really popular. And I was listening to Ride the Lightning from Metallica, and I was a fan of Injustice for All, so it was natural. I was a big Metallica fan there.
See, I just like Speed. Like, I mean, I love
Speed
Slayer.
Metal. Like, yeah. Slayer.
And like Kill 'Em All from Metallica. That one's pretty fast.
Yeah.
See, my thing is just with my ADD, like if the song's longer, if the song's 3 minutes, it's too long.
Right.
Like I like quick, punchy. Let's get
like
the chorus in there a couple times. The Beach Boys.
They just get it.
Great American music, the Beach Boys. I love them.
Oh my god.
So talented, so beautiful.
Big one for me, Christian music. I like Christian music. I listen to the top Christian music and it's inspiring to me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Wolf Brother Methos asks, what is your next conversion project?
I'm going to convert unpainted models into painted ones.
A 2023 Z06 convertible. Kit Bash conversion. I get a whole bunch of bits, and when I finish an army, I take those bits and do something with it. So it could be like terrain, where I take and kit bash something to make it look like the world that the army I just finished painting is on, because it has the bits and it has that symmetry to it. So this way, when I make a game table, they can live in the environment that I created for them because it's similar. So that's something I do with conversion projects. I'll take terrain that is in there, like GW terrain. I'll get plastic card. I'll get vehicle parts and put like motor parts that make them like pipes that go in through things, and I make my own little terrain, little diorama pieces that have line of sight blocking, because it has to be useful and functional too, because some of the stuff don't have line of sight blocking, and Space Wolves need that.
I never really set out to do like conversions or kit bashes, things like that. It's more of
I think it's
I see a need for it, or I have an idea. Like I'll look at I don't know the Sisters of Battle lady in the power loader suit. I forget what her name is. It doesn't matter.
I like that big statue.
You know what I'm talking now.
Yeah.
Like the matriarch of the Sisters of Battle.
The canoness.
No, not the canon. No, like the big named character. Like they're Rabute Gulliman.
Oh.
Kind of lady.
Lady of something.
I keep wanting to say Lady Vash, but I'm pretty sure
that's
from the vampire.
Celestine. Is it?
No. It's the new one in the power loader suit, like the really janky baby carrier looking thing.
Baby carrier. Oh, is that the dead one that they have the procession coming through? That one?
No, but that is a cool one. I do like.
But you don't like terrain moving with you. But just saying.
That's so crazy. Like,
but it's so cool.
Church has a movement characteristic.
It's an imaginary game. That just happens. Alrighty.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can't just all go to imagination land.
We're playing a fantasy game. We're in imagination.
Let me jump on my unicorn and fly there now.
I mean, unicorn army isn't so bad. It'll be like cavalry.
Yeah, like I don't really like. Like I say, I don't really like
pony in your Warhammer.
Jump in there and I've seen it.
Buzz Lightyear in your Warhammer. I've seen that.
I've seen Buzz Lightyear. I've seen Boba Fett.
I just saw Boba Fett.
I just saw Boba Fett.
Yeah, you saw that.
It was really well done.
It was really well done. I was like, oh man, why didn't I think of that too? That was the Space Wolves place I saw it in. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was a Space Wolf one, and he made it into a Boba Fett.
See, I think the one I saw was the Imperial Fist guy with the really big punchy hand. So and I think somebody did him and Buzz Lightyear. That was really cool.
3D prints and Boba Fett heads and go to town. Really, that's what it is. Alrighty. So we have other questions here. What is your favorite skill that you brought over from your scale model experience into the miniature hobby experience? I think this is specifically for me, decals. I paint race cars and have 200-300 decals on it, and getting that into that racing stripes. I could do stripes on something because I know that Tamiya masking is great for that, and that came from hobbying as well. I can do gloss coat and stuff like that, but noticing the different kinds of gray, because there's aluminum, right, and there's steel, and they're different colors. Doing calipers are different from doing the discs for the disc brakes. You use different colors for that. So noticing the different scales of gray when it comes to metallic paint. Setting a scene. You want to have the stance just right on your miniature painting, on your model. You want it to sit right. So learning to step back from the model and looking at the model on the base as this entire piece, because sometimes you're too close with the details. You don't see the bigger picture. So yeah, these are all things that I did that. And then there's some tips and tricks. Now I actually have a Scale Auto magazine. And then I have Train magazine from Scale, and I take things from that. So they have little hobby tips and how to do things, sub-assemblies and how to do that, and how to achieve different things. So I'm always pulling resources from that. But those are the main ones that I took from the hobby. Were you ever into another hobby aside from it?
I did do scale modeling, not as in depth. I mean, like I did a few cars when I was younger, and of course, like I was trying to use like the little pots of tester,
of course,
paint, terrible, and just coming out completely. Like, I had a great time building it, and there was like so much potential, and then like I used that paint and just ruined it. Yeah, and it was like, but I still kept going because it was like, no, I'm gonna paint this through. I'm gonna paint this red.
I'm gonna paint the body with my janky paintbrush.
My janky paint and my dollar store paintbrushes. Like, we're doing this.
What is it covering? It's so thick. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a Rust-Oleum company, by the way. Testers. So it's Rust-Oleum. Yeah. Yeah. Never knew that. Now, if you had thinner and an airbrush, you can actually airbrush those colors, and they actually come out pretty good. Believe it or not.
Oh, no, I believe it. Just not I mean, I've seen, the clear stuff from Tamiya. And
love that. Love it.
On my Nighthawk, I'm painting it on with a brush.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, it sprays as a candy coat, over metallic a lot better than it paints.
It does. Well, I'll tell you this much too. Well, that's how I did the blood for this base right here, and that is that clear, Tamiya clear. So I did that for that. So it's pretty.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Blood for the Blood God. It's just dark.
It is dark,
and you can make Blood for the Blood God by taking the Tamiya. Well, you can make something better than Blood for the Blood God.
Yeah.
Let me fix that. By taking Tamiya Clear and Tamiya Clear Smoke, and mixing the two together, get a beautiful blood out of that isn't all gloopy and glossy and opaque. It's translucent, which is an important characteristic of blood.
You've cleaned enough of it off the walls for the people with the Cheetos.
I mean, if it sprays on a window, you can still see through the window.
You have to wash it.
Hey, the R gets it extra clean.
All right, we're coming to the end of the questions here in the virtual chat. What was your first miniature?
A set of nuns from Shadow Forge that I painted as Blood Bowl Amazons.
I have one of the miniatures. I don't know if I have it right here. I might.
I'm gonna say, I think yours ended up in a fire.
It's like a gobbo, but it's like something like that. It's one of those grots from Fantasy, but I did a whole bunch of them, and my first one I chucked in the fire and it melted. Literally, no one needed to see that. It's stuff of nightmares. It's just
gloops. The winged spawn of Satan.
Yeah. So I think that's where I started. I wanted to start off something small, and then I started doing a lot of Reaper stuff. The metal models. That's what I used to do. because I had D&D campaigns and I wanted to paint up all my miniatures for the campaigns.
Everything that I owned before I discovered plastic is metal.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh man, metal, it's more durable.
Yeah,
it
chips easily,
break.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, and then I discovered
gotta pin everything.
Anything it touches, it's just like there's paint. There's paint.
Yep. Oh wow, I got silver scratches.
Yeah.
Let's see. Most hated color to paint. Currently, it's white because that's why I'm attacking it, but not really anymore. But I don't know. Yellow has given me a problem. No, not really. No, I do shoulder pads. I'm pretty good with the yellow now. I think I can do an Imperial Fist Army. It would take me some time, but I say it. I might do my my Orcs yellow.
I was gonna say I don't really have a color that I hate painting.
No. No.
Yeah.
Well, brown is tricky to make interesting.
I could see that. I'm definitely even learning like about stressing leather and like just putting those tiny scratches
makes
and
a world of difference.
Like in your corner pieces, just making that like, and
where
especially doing the lightning and doing the tendons on the musculature thing.
Yeah.
Like learning how to kind of wiggle my brush.
All I have to do is try to do a straight line.
Yeah. Wiggle.
No.
But yeah, I guess white to an extent. If I'm trying to paint something after the fact, white. Like if it's gonna be white from the beginning, no problem, because I will just and paint all around that whiteness. But if I got a black chest and I want to do like a stark white banner on there, nope. That's a pain in the butt.
It is. Yeah, painting white like that is a pain. You have to slayer it from gray.
Yeah. Ulthuan gray is a great color. There's a couple other grays that are that so white. Like it's gray, but it's like very white. It could even pass for white at a glance because I used to only use Ulthuan gray.
Right.
Like all the white checkerboard on my orcs is Ulthuan gray.
Right, because you put it next to black, it looks stark white.
Right.
Right.
And just then you layer up, and then I'll do like some coats of ink.
So I can say it had to be white, and still brush painting white is tough because the chemical composition of it is different. They use talcum powder because they stopped using lead in white. They used to use lead.
I tend to use my white primer mixed with a little bit of FW ink. Yeah. And that's what I use to paint.
And the talc makes it look, powdery and chalky. That's the problem. So, yeah. Favorite video game?
Oh, man.
Mine's easy. Well, 2. JRPG would have been Final Fantasy VII. I haven't played the remake yet because PlayStation 5 is really hard to get. And Gran Turismo, racing game. These two, I literally want to go to the Nürburgring and race it. I do. But those two games really influenced. But I'm more of a JRPG fan, not a first-person shooter fan. And definitely role playing and driving. So right now I'm gonna get Forza 5. I just pre-ordered that. I'm really excited. Got the premium edition right there, and yeah, super excited to drive around Mexico. Get to drive around Mexico, man. It's pretty awesome. You can go on to the volcano.
All right, I guess I'll go 2.
Go for it.
I'll not in any particular order. They're kind of equal to me. But the Mount and Blade series, like mount a horse and the blade of a sword, like mount and blade. I know my accent kind of runs those two together. And it sounds like I'm saying mountain blade.
No, I heard mount and blade. Okay. It just sounds like a bad combination.
But yeah, Warband, especially like the Prophecy of Pendor mod.
Nice.
Like I put 500 hours into that, easy. Bannerlord 2 is... Mountain Blade Bannerlord is turning out to be pretty good. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on it, but I'm watching the progress with interest before getting into it. The other one is Kenshi, which is such an odd game, but it's a complete and true sandbox. Like it just dumps you in a world. There's no story. I mean, there's like background lore, things like that, but there's no like, go here, do this. It's just, you are this guy, survive in a world where basically everything wants to eat you or kill you. And it's a brutally difficult game. It's not very friendly to new players. Not so much like Dark Souls, because like combat is automatic. Like it's an automatic combat system,
right?
But it's also physics based. So like when you swing your weapon, if I hit the leg is the only part that takes damage,
right?
And you can chop off people's legs and just chop off every bit of them essentially, and leave them as like a torso stump with a head, and then you can just carry them around.
Oh my gosh.
Like, just the freedom is why I call it a pure sandbox, because there's just so much freedom for what you can do. And it's super fun. Like, you can go to the swamp and start making hash and go like smuggle it into cities.
I can't be remiss without mentioning Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto is definitely...
Yeah, those three are just awesome. So, yeah.
They definitely... Rockstar surprises me every year with how much better those games look.
Well, they have a team that are really dedicated to their line and the product.
Billions.
Yes.
Like,
unlimited, just about.
People want to kickstart a MMO for $200,000. Rockstar's over here spending billions on the single player.
Time for our last question. You see this? The question is, how did you end up with the name Clubber Lover? This is Clubber Lover, and sort of the quasi mascot for the channel. And what happened was, I ordered some models from a company, and instead of sending the models, they just sent me a big box with this. And I was like, what am I going to do with this seal? This man over here, I was like, oh, it's Clubber Lubber. And I'm like, and I just laughed so hard.
We started, we were making jokes about clubbing seals.
I mean,
I mean, you already had a deer hit your car. PETA hates you already. So we might as well tell this story.
PETA sent their agent out to eliminate me is what happened.
We were making jokes about...
We're terrible people.
Seals and, seal clubbing. And we were trying to think of a name that incorporated it into the seal's name. So
we were talking about clubbing and dancing, and then it just went there.
Yeah.
Usually you transition.
And then
that.
Clubber Lang came up, and then like Clubber Lubber.
I said, what should I call it? It's like, he came up with the name. It's Clubber Lubber. And I was just like, and I was thinking, Mr. Lubba Lubba.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Clubber Lubba. Ah. So I just thought it was hilarious. And ever since, there you go. That's Clubber Lubber. Such a sad face. Such a sad face. But there it is. Yeah.
Dark jokes.
It was dark.
Dark jokes.
Dark. It was dark. We needed to put on the light.
It's like black coffee.
Oh my gosh.
It's just not for everybody.
Well, friend, we have come to the end of our questions, the end of the tutorial. Always an awesome time hanging out with you. I'm holding you accountable. Next time you're on here, you gotta have something painted. Don't care if it's just one little infantryman. I don't care if it's one little night haunt. It's gotta be something. Anything. The easiest project you could possibly think of. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
We'll get something.
You got like 3 weeks to do it, my friend.
We'll get something done.
One model a month. At least it's better than no models a month.
I can't paint like that, man.
I know.
You already know this. I have like 6 bloat drones sitting on my desk that, as soon as I get to the weathering, then I have like 3 sorcerers or whatever they're called, the malignant plague casters that also need weathering. So it's like, once I finish the drones, I'll just have 9 models done. I know. See? But okay, yeah. If I can, we'll figure it out. I'm off tomorrow, so maybe I'll be able to motivate myself into sitting down into my big comfy chair. And
I got to do 10 infantry people. I'll do a unit of Tau. Getting there.
Yeah, you got about 10 there. 2, 4, 6.
Yeah, that is 10. That's a unit.
Yeah, okay, that's a unit.
Well, if you see the second shelf, there's no more sub assemblies on that second shelf, and then I have to do the top shelf. So I'm getting through it.
Getting through it. Show.
Yeah, man.
Faux show.
Well, if you like this video, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on the Miniatures Paintbrush.